Okay, so we're going to have my cousin Tony join us to tell his story. One of the interesting things about his story is that when he was incarcerated, he did time in prison. He actually was in there with his father. And so we're going to talk about that journey and that experience for him. But because consent is a big thing on this podcast, we have the consent of Tony, obviously, to talk about his story and his journey. We do not have the consent of his father to talk about his journey and his story. So we are not going to go into his father's. We're not talking about that. We will be focusing on Tony's story. So I hope you keep that in mind as we begin to talk. And the other thing is, Tony is very transparent and open, which is what we like and appreciate about him and being on this podcast. And so that said, I want you to know that us nor he is glorifying prison. Us nor he is glorifying crime in any way. He is just going to be being honest and open about his story. So I hope you keep that in mind as you enjoy the episode.
And you should share this story with your children.
And you should share this story with your children. Okay.
Now, if you're not ready, then go ahead and tell me you're not ready.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not a lawyer, but
the debrief.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of I'm Not a Lawyer, But
the debrief.
I am Melanie, aka I'm Not a Lawyer, But, and I'm joined by my co-host
Gooseberry. How y'all doing?
We are not lawyers or legal experts, but we have this podcast. We talk about legal things, and we're going to do some of that today. I want to touch on a few things, but we also have a guest today, a guest joining us. And I want to say, well, I'll say it before he comes on. He's my cousin, though. I'm going to have my cousin join because he has a very interesting experience. So we'll get into that. Before we do, a few things I want to say at the top. My interactive live trial show, we are less than a month away, which freaks me out, happening in Atlanta, Georgia, August 2nd. Buy tickets if you haven't. We will make sure.
I've been buying them tickets.
Make sure the link is in the description for you to purchase. Maybe we'll have the barcode, maybe not. Apparently, the last one expired or something, so we'll see if we have a barcode. Regardless, link is in the description for sure. Buy the tickets. I really hope to see you there. I'm very excited about that. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two is I've been catching up on the Blaisee Taylor trial. I missed this trial because I was doing the TI and Tiny and OMG Girls last week, so I missed it, and I've been catching up and trying to make a video. There was a lot going on in that trial. But there was something in particular I was going to tell you on this podcast about the trial. Now I didn't forget. I can't remember. Regardless, I'm hoping to make a video in the next couple of days because it was a journey for that one. So I'll skip that for now because I can't remember what I wanted to say.
This is Blaisee Taylor.
His name is Blaisee. Yeah, he was a Tennessee Titans scout for that team, and he was charged with killing a woman he had been casually dating but had gotten pregnant because he didn't want the baby. So that was the charge, and so he was charged with 2 counts of murder for her and the baby.
Oh wow!
And it was by poison. He had, the jury convicted him, poisoned her by putting cocaine in her drink, and it caused her to overdose and caused her to overdose and them both to die.
Okay.
What's interesting about the case, regardless, is that moments before she goes unconscious, she calls her best friend. And the best friend, just the only person who hurt, is the only person is her best friend. And her best friend is like, she calls me and she says, "What did you put in my drink? I knew my drink tasted funny. You did this because you didn't want the baby." And so the best friend is able to tell police this, and they end up, checking her, doing the autopsy, and she has this insane amount of cocaine in her system. It was overdose. That's how she died. The problem, what's really interesting about the case is that the police didn't immediately close off her apartment, which is where it happened. They left it open, and so because police really weren't, Jay's family felt police weren't doing anything. They went back to the apartment. The Jade's mom's best friend, as well as Jade's best friend,
They didn't block off the crime scene?
they didn't block off the crime scene. And so they go back to the apartment with gloves on and they record themselves and they're like taking photos and videos. And Jade had thrown up on her comforter. And so they take the comforter. And so when the next day, when police are finally like, oh, I guess we should do something about this, they're like, well, speaking of, we were there yesterday. Here's all the evidence we collected. And it's just like, ooh.
So the family of Blaisee,
The family of Jade did it.
they went back to the house.
They went back to the house. And it's just like, I don't, police not detecting like they should. That's what it felt. Are y'all investigators who investigate, or y'all investigators who sit at home? Why y'all didn't cut this off? This should have been blocked.
I have two things to say. One, man, it's always somebody that's close to you doing stuff like this.
Well,
It's all, man, that's scary.
Well, he ain't with the baby. And she also was like, yo, bro, I'm good. I got this. I'm going to raise this baby. And he's like,
well, he was going to get child support and, it's.
Sure.
But anyway, it's always somebody close to you. And that's just crazy. Second thing, just follow me here. This is out the blue, but robots, AI type jazz. A robot is going to do what it's supposed to do every time.
Yeah.
No matter what's happening,
it's
going to, unless it malfunctions. But you can almost guarantee if the door is open, the robot's going to close.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. If a robot would have went in there, they would have roped off the crime scene.
Yeah.
Like, do your job, man.
Yeah.
What is so hard? They did that in old girl, Karen Reed.
Oh, Karen Reed. Yeah. It was it was a terrible investigation for them to have alleged that he used cocaine to kill her. Mm-hmm. There was no testimony about where he got the cocaine from. Like, there was no connection as to like where. It was a very bizarre, it was a terrible investigation. And I honestly feel like what ended up happening is police, a woman kind of comes to the police and they're like, I got something to tell you. And so, not like that, I'm being funny, but the woman's like, I have some information. She's an ex of Blaisee's, and she is able to tell them that he convinced her to get an abortion, and she knows another. Like, it was just a the whole case felt a bit odd to me. Mm-hmm. However, I believe he did it. Like, it was just a very weird investigation and situation. And I was just shocked that there was no for this to be a drug case. It was just shocking that there wasn't more investigation into the drugs. Like, it was just like, they had a date night. She drank something pink. It was cocaine. He did it. And the judge it was very bizarre. So anyway, I've been
so this trial has happened, and it happened
last week. They got the verdict. But
no sentencing yet.
No. It was first degree. They actually what they decided, the jurors, was that he was guilty of second degree murder for Jade and first degree murder for the baby. And what that essentially meant is the jurors believed he was trying to kill the baby, didn't really mean to kill Jade, but like she died too. So I just thought the whole thing was very interesting. But because it was first degree murder case, it was either in Tennessee, life, death, or life with parole. And the jurors recommended that he get life with parole. So
isn't there,
hold on, go ahead.
Isn't there like abortion pills or like
she didn't want to
I'm saying he didn't have to give her cocaine.
No, he definitely did not. But
if you gonna slip or something, why are you using something that could kill them both, which it
Absolutely.
did.
Yeah. It was a
Like,
just
what did he expect to happen?
yeah, and apparent they were going kind of talking about the effects of cocaine and like what it does to the brain and like
Mhm.
how it works and um essentially that it caused her brain to like enlarge,
Swell.
swell, and
Mhm.
when it swells and when it runs out of space in the brain, like it like pushes down on like organs and stuff. It was actually it's really sad because she was so young, but that's what happened. So anyway, I'm working on that video. But it was the investigation, I think, is what got me. I believe he did it, but the investigation was just so atrocious that it's like, did you prove this beyond a reasonable doubt? Or the jury's just going off of what they believe? And then we always have the conversation of how do you feel about that when jurors are, going, should they go off what you believe happened, what they proved happened, uh, whatever.
Yeah, that's a sticky situation
So
because it's man, it's obvious. Well, to me,
permeates. Thank you. That's the proper word.
it'll be obvious that this guy did that.
Hmm.
But to your point, are you proving it?
Right.
And do you overlook that?
Yeah. And it's not to say that well, anyway, it's a very interesting case. Um, Regardless, there's some other things that have been happening this week, but like I told you when we first kind of started, we have a guest joining us this episode, which I'm
Mhm.
so very excited about. It is my cousin. And so with that, we are going to welcome my cousin, who is very much like a brother to me, to talk to us. Let me first say that I don't have any birth brothers. My mother didn't birth any boys. I have all sisters, but Tony is my cousin, but very much like a brother to me. We grew up together, lived with us many times,
Yeah.
and spent a lot of time together. But can you please just introduce yourself? And I guess we should start with, I don't even know. Just introduce yourself and then we'll go from there.
Well, I'm Toka. Of course, Melody cousin, like brothers. They call me Tony. So y'all can call me Toka though.
And where you from?
I'm from Toledo, Ohio. You know, the best Rockets, baby. You know how we do it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of gave you a bit of an intro in the fact
Mhm.
that you got in some trouble in your life.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
before you did, so we lived where did you first live with us? In Germany?
Yeah, we was in Germany.
Okay, so
And
my
then
dad was military and Tony lived with us in Germany and then we moved to Hawaii. But after Hawaii, we moved to Washington and Tony came to live with
yeah.
us in Washington. And then after Washington, he went back to Ohio and you got in some trouble. So let's start with I guess let's just start with the first arrest, or like what kind of led up to that, whatever you feel comfortable sharing for that.
The first no, when I first the first that was like the 7 year stretch I did. I was yeah, well, of course, I was doing things I had no business doing, but I was down in Philly, and I basically caught this indictment to say that this guy he had wore wire on me a couple times, and I got in trouble in Philly, Ohio, and they hit me with a couple different like some F1s and F3s. Never
Okay.
got so the F1, like that's a felony one. They hit me with a felony one, trafficking. Then they another felony one with trafficking in the school zone because there was a Walmart that one of the buys was supposed to take place at. That was across the highway though, so it was way more than 1,000 feet in the summer. So it's probably like 2,500 feet. But that's just what they do. Like when you get in
Wait.
trouble,
You were going to do so the charges had to do with drugs, and you were
yes.
going to do a transaction at a Walmart. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, so yeah, like most times when you doing stuff, like you try to meet at different spots, locations. So one of the locations the guy tried to set me up at, who was a friend of mine. So just to throw that out there, he's a friend of mine, and we met in a Walmart bathroom. But the problem with that is it's just the tape. They never got a buy, so they just have this tape that say, they got him talking and I say nothing, but they're trying to use this tape to say these are one of the buys that we have on you at this Walmart, which is 1,000 feet of a school zone. But most times when they do stuff like that, it's like trumping up your charges because it's a guaranteed way for you to try to take a plea, regardless if you innocent or not.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So that was one of the charges, the F3 possession. even though I didn't have anything, it's just that's just what they put on there. And so
Okay, go
that's how
ahead.
that happened. Go ahead.
Tell us about when.
Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Let's start right here. How how old were you? Was it out of high school?
No, this was I was probably about I was about 21, 22, somewhere around there.
Okay. So when you graduated high school,
Yeah.
were you living with male in that
No,
point?
so no. So I end up leaving my senior year from Tacoma and coming to back to Toledo, and I was going to Woodward High School.
Okay.
And well,
Your
Woodward,
environment changed.
huh?
So your environment changed.
Yes.
Okay.
It
All right, cool. So
yeah.
your environment changed. You went back to
He wasn't selling drugs at my daddy house.
I'm just saying
This
that's
no, most definitely wasn't doing that.
what I'm trying to get at. So
Right.
your environment with male Papa D them, we were in a good environment. We was going straight. We were good.
Working in church, playing basketball, me hanging out with Kev, that was my best friend, that was my bro, Kev on stage, shout out to him and my dog.
Yep.
Yeah, just doing all the right things because I'm Mary and Uncle D, they don't have it no other way. You gonna work and you gonna do right.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay. So from that environment, you went back to Toledo, to
Hmm.
Ohio, and then
Yep.
that things started shaking up for you.
Yeah,
So
because yep. Because what happened for me was when I got back, they told me I needed another year and a half of English and math or something like that because when I first got to Tacoma, I was like a 9R, not because I was like I wasn't smart, just because I was skipping school, did all those type of things before I got out there. So I
yeah,
did everything I was supposed to do to catch up to become a junior once I got to Tacoma. And then I did that, and then I was a senior out there, and their like grading system, their point system, the credit system is different.
yep.
So out there, you need like here you need 21 credit, but there's so many years you got to have it as English and math stuff. So they told me I needed like another year and a half. I'm like, man, I'm 18 years old. I'm not about to be in school another year and a half and all that. So I actually dropped out of high school and went to Owens Community College.
Uh,
Just went there, and I really just went for the money. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up getting the money, and that was that. So how I end up, I didn't get to graduate, but prison is where I got my GED and also went to college, but we'll get into that later. But that's so when things started to shake up for me, my mom, was just going through a rough time. I was probably like 20 years old. She was just going through a rough time. I'm not ashamed. My mom she used to dance. She was a dancer. That's how she took care of me and my sisters. I got four sisters. And it just got rough for her. And for me, I was just looking for ways to do things. I was working at Kirby. I was selling $1,000 vacuum. I was doing the cut coat cutlery with the knives, all
yeah.
that, like going door to door. I'm in a suit, bro. I'm in a suit. I'm doing this in a suit, doing all that. But the telemarketing and the sales job just kind of got tough. And then we just hit some hard times. And I had my first kid. And then my second kid was on the way. And it was just a bunch of things that just had me in this kind of like bind. But a guy introduced me to, hey man, I know a way that we can, make some money. I was never into the streets like that as far as drug wise. And then that's how that happened. And
Mm,
then right after that, it wasn't like probably like 2 years later, yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years later, I met this guy. We got real cool, close. He turned me on to what's Findlay, Ohio. Like, hey man, we can make some money down here, do all this. He's been doing it, showed me what he's doing. Got down there, I was doing my own thing, but he got caught into some trouble, and
mm,
he started working for the police, and he started bringing people in and set them up, and they did what's called a control by bust on him. So one day they sent an informant in, they got the drugs off of him, and then the next day they sent them in, got the drugs again, but this time they are, they came in, busted in, he ran, and they arrested him and caught him with the marked money.
mhm.
So all of this would have got him 2 years, well, maybe 3 or 4 because he ran from the police, but he decided to become an informant, and then that's when he set me up.
And that's where you ended up in Walmart restrooms.
That's where Walmart restroom, man. And you know what? And never would have got there because I mean, even though I did what I did, I like think like I was so low key out the way. I didn't bother nobody. I really didn't do too much. I mean, my guy was just this guy I had was doing all the running for me. I was really just was collecting money, but I was guilty either way it go. But they didn't catch me with the money or no control bus buy. They just have these tapes. And there's only one tape that I say, hey, I have a zip and a half left. That's basically what it is. And they don't know if it's crack, if it's coke, if it's weed. They don't know nothing. That's why they do control by bus, because they want to know for sure this is what they got from you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I end up getting the wires. He wore 3 wires on me.
Dang. And
Mhm.
your discovery, you got to hear it. Like you knew who
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, because when you first catch your case, they give what's called a motion of discovery, and that lets you know everything they got on you. And these tapes surfaced as soon as I played it. Soon as my lawyer played the tape, I knew exactly who it was. And the funny thing about it is, the dude told me, because I called him, like, hey, like, nigga, what the fuck? Like, what? And so he called me. He's so southern. He from down south, and he from Mississippi, and he was bringing his cousins up as well too, and he set them up as well. But this guy was just, he just was just ruthless, and he was just like, I don't know. He didn't care. It was all about him. I guess he did some time before. He did state and fed time, and he just wasn't going back. And he was just willing to put everybody on the bus. But he told me when I talked to him, I said, man, how can you do this to me? He like, hey, man, listen, man. Look here, man. Go ahead, man. I got my money, man. You just go ahead and go. I ain't going to court. And that's basically what he said to me. And when he said, go, like, he's not going to court, you know, my lawyer was like, look, they don't really have nothing. But the main thing he was worried about, if this guy does come back and get on the stand and say, look, it's the Eminem effect. If you ever seen the movie 8 Mile, like when Eminem started cracking on himself and all that, what else can you say? He could say, hey, I'm a drug dealer, but I in fact bought drugs from, you know what I mean, from him. And once you do that, and this is how my lawyer thinking and my mom, they like, you in this town, you're only black guy, you know, no matter what you've done, you're going to prison. And if I lose, they're trying to give me 30 years.
Oh my
For
gosh.
3, so I'm gonna split. So 3, so out of these 3 buys, it was a total of like 27 grams, okay, of cocaine, 27 grams. The bulk amount is 100. So the judge, his son died from drugs, so he's very hard on drugs for sure. And he told my lawyer he don't care that I'm from Toledo, where we from, but in Findlay, Ohio, the bulk amount is 27 grams. So the prosecutor wanted to give me 10 years. My lawyer pushed for 4 years, 11 months. I was on tour with Hostiles and Young Jock for music, and we was getting ready to sign with Jai Record, me and my guy, my other brother, who's like a brother to me. And everybody wrote letters and everything. They didn't care. But the judge just said he wasn't going to give me, 10 years, but he wasn't going to give me 4 years, 11 months either. And basically, I took a no contest plea because my mom was like, if you go to trial, you're going to lose. And my lawyer, he was suspect, to be honest. I paid him $17,500, but I don't really think he knew what he was doing. I tried to hire another lawyer, but it was just too late. So my mom was like, baby, just take the no contest plea, come home to your kids in 7 years or within whatever time they're trying to give now versus 30 years.
So you're what, 21, 22 at this time?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's insane. Yeah. And I thought my life was over. And then the judge didn't give me 9 years, 11 months. He didn't give me 4 years, 11 months. He said he's going to give me 7 years. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
For a non-violent drug offense. I didn't even get caught with it. So now I'm just got all these things in my mind. But that's how all that happened. And that's how I end up getting the 7 years, though.
Do you now? I mean, obviously, it was a lot. You were young, your mom, your lawyer, everybody. It's a lot to just like think about. Do you today wish you would have went to trial, or do you feel like that? I mean, looking back, and obviously hindsight is 2020. I'm just
Right.
curious. Do you feel like you wish you would have taken the chance, or do you feel like it was right for you to just take the plea?
I mean, I kind of be on the fence about it because what I know today and what I learned, I definitely would. I would have had what's called a motion to suppress. When you have a motion to suppress, it's to suppress the evidence that they have. Of course, you know this. And if I'm not on the tape saying anything, why is this tape admissible? if you didn't catch me with the marked money, why is this admissible? Like it doesn't matter. All that you didn't catch me with none. So I feel like I could have beat the case. But then on the other hand, I feel like God had to take me through a journey because I had to grow through something. It was something that, and I feel like he probably was really saving my life, honestly, because my mom used to always tell me it was a lot of guys that was jealous of me. Like I'm one of the guys in the streets that like, I look out for everybody. I'm trying to be there for them. I dress cool. I be clean. I'm not very loud. I just dress good. You know what I mean? But um, and every most people do love them, but you have jealous people that want to be you and can't, or they think you're something and they have their own assumptions. And my mom feel like, you know, maybe somebody might have tried to kill me or something because every time a gunshot would go off, anytime she hear ambulance, my mom would call me at 2, 3 o'clock. I'm like, Tony, you at home? Where you at? You okay? You know,
Yeah.
and for her being in prison at the time, just getting away from the lifestyle, she felt like she can sleep and at least she knew where I was at and I was okay. And just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I'm on the fence about it. But God had to take me through a journey. So I can't say I regret it at the same time.
Did you, the guy, before it happened, did you have any like suspicion about him, or was it like a surprise when it was like, oh, I know exactly who this is, but I didn't know this what was going on? Like, did you have any inclination?
No, I didn't. That's why I was really shocked, like, huh? And what happens is when they do indictment on the course, they don't just come get you right then there. They come get you a year, 2 years later, like, hey, yeah, we got this for you, buddy.
Uh,
Yeah, we know what you've been doing. You like, huh? And I'm trying to deny, like, you don't know me. It
Tell us
wasn't me.
tell us about the arrest. Like, where were you? What happened?
So I was at a Red Roof, and so when I went to Philly, I was normally staying in hotels, and I had a runner. The runner would just come, get what he's supposed to get. He'd go on the side of town. He go do what he do. He just bring me back the money. So I'm just in the hotel chilling, writing raps, and playing my PlayStation. I'm just eating Dominoes, and I get a call from the front desk, and he like, "Hey, you forgot to sign something, like sign a piece of paper." And then I'm like, all right, I'll be up there in a minute. He's like, well, if you could come now just so we can get it out the way. I'm like, all right, here I come. So once I walked out the room, I walked out and I looked to my right. I see a car just takes off. But I don't really like register like, oh, this the police, because I just think I'm in a hotel. So I walk around and I come through the front. And as soon as I walked in the front, the guy wasn't there. The clerk
Oh,
wasn't there. So I look around and I ring the bell. I'm like, hey, yo. And then next thing you know, they come through the door, turn around. They like, yeah. I'm like, what's going on? They had their guns out. I just had my hands up. They was like, yeah, Antonio Overton, go ahead and turn around. And I'm like, what? It was like, yeah, we got an indictment for you. I said, not me. I ain't, I ain't do nothing.
yeah, had the
But
front desk man call you.
hey, man, huh?
I said they done had the front desk call you.
Yep, he was in on. Then he came out. He just looked at me because the funny thing about the dude at the front desk is me and him had a good little relationship. Like it was times I pulled up, didn't have my ID or nothing. He was like, "Man, I know who you are. Go ahead, you're fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's when I got arrested, and then I went down, and then I ended up bonding out a couple of days. They had me like on $100,000 bond or something, and I ended up bonding out. Then I fought the case from there, and I was out. Yeah.
I really wish we had a younger audience to hear what you're saying right now.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there- there's no way for you to even know what's about to pop off. You got somebody talking to you every day, your partner,
Yo, partner.
and the whole time he's scheming against you. You don't know how do you have no chance of winning.
No chance. And you know what? No matter how careful you think you being, is that's the advantage that the cops have. Like once they got an informant, and I really feel like that's entrapment. But yeah, because if I knew you was the police, I'm not talking to you. So like, why would I talk to you and I know you the police? Like no. But you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing about it. It's just like you just stuck, and that's that knife in your back. That's the people that are close to you that always get you. That's why they say that. It's only somebody close to that can get you because they know your every move. They know what you're doing, and it's easy for them to set you up because you are comfortable with them. You will never think that they'll do something like that. So when you jump in the game, The game don't love you, even though you can love the game. It does not love you. The streets does not love you because people will throw you under the bus, put that knife in your back to save their own ass. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
That's that was my next question. Just knowing that this person did that to you, how did that make you feel? Guys always be talking about they just turn cold, like, dang, I can't trust nobody. Was that a turning point for you where you was like, whoo, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I was angry. I was devastated because I had kids, and it was like, damn, so you really gonna get me in trouble because you got in trouble and take me away from my kids. And that was just, because when God got something for you, it ain't no way around it.
Mhm.
It's not no way around it. Because I was cold hearted, but I wasn't that cold.
Yeah.
Not to do nothing like that. Yeah, it ain't their fault. It ain't, and even then, like, I wanted him to suffer because it was like, bro, you taking me away from my kids, but I had to take accountability that I knew what I was getting myself into. And this is all part of the game. The robbers, the snitches, the informants, the haters. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
And you know what you step yourself into. So you really can't be surprised when something like that happens because it's all part of the game. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you get sentenced, you get your 7 years.
Yeah.
Everybody in the family group chat is devastated. My mama calls me. Oh, I should say, Tony's father is my mother's brother, so he is
Yes.
related on my maternal side.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're all devastated and like, what? But you get sentenced, and 2 questions I want to kind of go into from here. Number 1, did you have a significant other at the time? And what was that? Because you said you had kids. And so what was that situation, your kind of personal relationship? And then the other very interesting thing about your story is that your father, my uncle,
Mhm.
was also incarcerated. He's been incarcerated for,
I'm in 40 years now.
when I say from before I was born, he has
Yeah.
been
Yeah, he's been there.
had the opportunity to meet him. And so what are you thinking as far as that as well? So talk about the kind of personal relationship and then what it means for you to be getting incarcerated and what you're thinking about your dad.
So I was with at the time I was with my wife now, who's now my wife. She was my girlfriend back then. Baby mama, whatever they say, baby mama. But anyway, I was with my baby mama back then, but she my wife now. And we both was young. So yeah, I was with her. And then just knowing I'm about to go to prison with my dad, it's kind of crazy because he wrote me when I was in this place called CRC. CRC is a holding cell. They like you go. It's like a kind of like a halfway point. They take you there, kind of like an intake, and then you go there. That's where they shave your head and all that. They shaved me bald. Greg, I was looking like you, boy. You hear me? We could have been the bald brothers too, man.
Hey, you bald head, we probably look alike for real.
Yeah,
Bro.
we might do. I just don't got a beard, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so they shave your bald, but my dad wrote me and he just told me like he just wanted to let me know that he not angry with me and everything he's ever heard about me, he's just proud to be, that I'm that version of what he heard. Like I'm a good dude. I always looked out for everybody. I didn't bother nobody. I was doing my music. I was always a businessman, like stuff like that. So he's proud of that. Not the fact that I was really coming to prison. So for me, then it was like, dang, I'm about to do time with my dad. Like that's devastating. And I haven't seen my dad at that point for like 11 years. Like I didn't see him for 11 years, and I was like, man, it was devastating for me, and I felt ashamed for real, even though he told me what he told me. So that's how I felt going into there, like, oh my God, I'm about to go do time with my dad. I feel like a failure. And then I talked to Aunt Mary on the phone. She like, my mom didn't make me cry, and I love my mom to death. My Aunt Mary had me crying on the phone, bro. Like, because she like a mom to me too, and I just felt like I let her down, like because she always been on me and always telling me like how great I could be and how great I am. And I just thought about Tacoma. I thought about Mel and Melissa and all them. I just felt like and it's because I know that they have these high expectations, like because in that household, hey, you gonna climb this ladder for sure. That's how it is. You gonna climb this ladder. And I just felt so as soon as I heard her voice, I just broke down crying. But she told me, she said, nephew, I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. She was like, God got a plan. You know, she get to talking about God, and then she started praying for me, and she said, nephew, you're gonna be okay, and I'm gonna be here for you. And I started slobbing. I would have snot coming out my nose. Oh my God. So that's how I felt going into that, knowing I'm about to go spend time with my dad in prison.
And did you immediately, I know, now I don't know too much, but I understand that sometimes the inmates get transferred to different prisons, and it's a toss up sometimes of where you end up. And especially with you having, um, you know, committed this crime or gotten this indictment in this part of Ohio, like, did you know where you were going to be placed, or did you ask to be placed at a certain place? Like, how did the placement actually work?
The place we go, they ask you, do you have any relatives in prison and things like that? If you do, you're more likely to go to where your family or relatives, are, especially like if you got a father or a brother, if you're a woman, a sister or a mother or auntie, whoever. And the inmates and they would tell them like, yeah, wherever your dad's at, that's where they're gonna send you. So I did know they don't tell you because they can't for security reason. They just tell you, they wake you up at 4 in the morning, hey, pack up, you gone. Where I'm going, they just drop you off.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I
so what
did know in a sense.
when
Hmm?
you walk into this prison that your father is in, like, what is that first meeting like?
So my dad knew, like, they know what time the bus, like they know a bus gonna show us. So get all my stuff and I'm just walking up and they got like, some guys that'll walk you, the COs will walk you to your dorm you going to. And my dad, he been down so long that he had people in the inside, he'd be like, hey, where my son going? Type stuff. And he looked him up and he knew. So he was standing outside the dorm, just like this, just what I'm saying, just waiting on me. And I just walked up, he just stood there and he just had the biggest smile on his face. And it's crazy to say that because he ain't seen me in so long
Mhm.
and we've never been like this. And he just, I don't know, he just once he seen me, he just came and hugged me and just hugged me real tight for probably like a minute straight.
Mhm.
Like, man, I love you, dog. Like, man, like I can't believe it. But he was like, man, I just love you. You gonna be all right, like that. And then it was just, I went to my dorm because he couldn't go in the dorm I was in. We weren't in the same dorm at the time. And he was like, I'm gonna get you moved down to me where I'm at, and that's how that happened.
I know, and let me just say, and you can also speak on it, because I feel like it's important to call out that it is so, like, heartbreaking to hear that
Mhm.
reconnection you have with your father is in prison. Like, that is heartbreaking, and I don't want anyone to think that we don't recognize,
Yeah, that was heartbreaking for sure.
that circumstance. Um, and so that is also why I really wanted to have this conversation, because you and your dad both recognize, like, this is not where we want to be reconnecting. Like, we both wish we had made different choices so that we could be living life on the outside. But being that the situation is what it is, that is
Mhm.
where the reconnection happened. That is where you got to have, father son time that you hadn't had for most of your life.
Yeah,
So and you're in a new space, and then he had been there and he's got his stuff on lock, but this is new for you and you have to figure out how to navigate your space.
yeah,
And so I just thought that was why I really wanted to have the conversation. I think it's just an interesting perspective and kind of life experience that you've had.
yeah.
And so talk about what that is like, being able to reconnect with your dad, and, like, don't go in too much detail about the conversations, you don't have to, but, like, what are the conversations about? How do you guys catch up? How do you catch up with your dad, after all these years?
I mean, we just this is crazy because once I moved over down to the dorm with him, I mean, we was going to child, like we'll meet up in the morning, we'll go to child and we're just having conversations about, he asked about his grandkids, he asked about my music career, we was having conversations. He asked me about Germany, Tacoma, everything. He just like so many different things. He was just like, he just wanted to know. And we would just have those type of conversation. And then when I moved into the dorm with him, one day we ended up drinking some hooch. So hooch is like jailhouse liquor. So he was like, come on, you know, we're gonna drink this little hooch and we're gonna go outside and we're gonna kick it. And this is the first time that it really hit me that I was in prison, like for his 7 years. Is once we drank, he was just giving me the insight of how not to worry about the outside world. Whatever girl you got, you can't you can't worry about her, like she's gonna live her life. Like it's nothing you can do. Like just focus on this. And once we drank the hooch, he put on his headphones and he was just like in his own world. And then we walked outside, like, come on, go kick it. He walked outside and he was just like in his world. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like I'm, I'm in prison, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
And we went and as we walked down the little walkway, we went and just had a conversation about, he was telling me about his childhood. He was just telling me about, um, that he never wanted this to happen to me or happen for he just like he always prayed that this didn't happen. But he was like, now that you're here, he was like, I don't want you to get down on yourself. I want you to continue to keep your spirits lifted. Just know this time will pass and you'll be home before you know it. And so we started talking about, like I said, we was talking about my music and like what is my real aspiration, like what else, my business, that I had ideas. And so we were just going over everything, life, my sister, y'all, like just we just talked about everything. My mom, he was telling me stories about what he did with my mom, how he went on a run with me when he was when I was a baby. He said he took me on a run in Michigan. I'm like, what? He took me on a run.
Wow.
Yeah, cause he was like, yeah, man, I had you with me, man, But I knew from what my mom told, he's a good dad. And for him, this the first time he got to be with his son in this way. Sleep, wake up, can see me every day, not just talk on the phone. So for me, like I said, it was bittersweet, because I got to see my dad, but I didn't want to do it this way.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then for him, he wanted to see his son, but he didn't want to do it this way. But what else can we do at this point but embrace the situation and just like, all right, well, we here. So I can only make the, saying the best of what I can right now. So that's what it was.
And I heard y'all was beating people on the basketball team.
Oh yeah, yeah. So crazy because as soon as I came in, I love sports, play basketball, all that good stuff. They was hooping. They had some hoopers in there, and I wanted to hoop. I ain't have my legs up under me for real, because everybody, everybody been hooping for like people been down for years, so they got their legs. Remember, I'm coming off the streets, and I used to smoke weed, and what I'm saying, I wasn't working out. I was skinny, you know what I'm saying, and I started working out. My dad's like, "Hey, we gonna work out together. We gonna do this." So we got on the basketball court, started training. He was doing dunk technique with me. I was shooting fadeaways off the glass. We were
Yeah.
doing everything. Then we ended up getting a team. And then once we got the team, we went to the championship and we had the summer league. We was on the summer league championship and we ended up winning that. And we was the Lakers, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I was on Kobe time. So and that was and that was cool because I always wanted my dad to come to my games. I always wanted him to see me play football and basketball and box, and he just was never there. And I used to watch kids have their dads, and that's what was bittersweet to me too. Like I wasn't jealous of them, maybe a little bit, just not because I wasn't happy for him. Like dang, I just ain't got my dad. Like your dad would be like, I'm proud of you, son. Or my dad would put me together, like, get it together. What you doing? You got to go harder. I just didn't have that, but I had that in Uncle D. That's why he like a father to me too. You know what I'm saying? And he had high expectations for me as well. So that was all right with me at the time. Like just like, okay, I got my dad. He really pushing me. He get to see I can really hoop. I ain't no bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
How did
yeah.
that you have kids at this point, and so what were you thinking as far as like you being a father, like, and you're in here, like, how is that affecting just how you think of yourself as a father and kind of what steps or things you wanted to do, um, while you're in there, but also when you get out?
I mean, my whole thing because I had three sons. By the time I went to prison, I had three. And my oldest, like when I went in, they was like what, 1 through 5. So I had 5 kids, 1 through 5. And my oldest son was 4. The youngest was 2. The other 3. Now I was just thinking like, dang, because I always wanted to put them in sports and I always wanted to, just be right there with them. So I'm like, as I was in there, time passed, they got into sports. I couldn't be there. And I'm like, dang. So I used to talk to them a lot though. Like at least I used to write them like letters, let them know that they're special, let them know that, whatever they want to do, they could, just work at it, that'd be great. And my whole plan was once I get out, like I just wanted to be there every step of the way with them in their sports as far as my boys go. Even my girls, if they wanted to do it, but my girls is really girly girls. They just want some money. That's how they go. But yeah, so that's all. I just like I hope I don't miss you know, everything. Because that's what 7 years feel like. I feel like it's 7 years for like 30 years. That's what it just feels like. Even though it's 7 years in the past, you miss so much when a kid is 1 to 5, and then from 5 to 12 years old. Like that's a very intricate time in kids' life that you're supposed to be there. And I just felt like, dang, like how can I really be there for them, you know? And I'm in here, somebody how my dad felt, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna just be the best father I could be. I'm gonna be the best father I can in here and out there.
But spending that time with your dad and experiencing that and getting that feeling though benefits you when you get out, because now you know this is the feeling that I want my kids to feel. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that would give you that, will push you even more to be a better father. You know what I'm saying? Because now you done really experienced this connection with your pops, even though it was in jail.
Yeah, and I made it a point. Like I make sure I try to call them every day, if not, I mean every other day, or if not every day. I start one thing I wanted to do, like, all right, what can I bring back to them? So I went to college, you know what I'm saying? Well, I got my GED, I went to college, and I did have a 3.6 grade point average in college too, by the way. Let Mary know that, Uncle D, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Let them know that, let that be on the record. You know, we get all A's over here, baby. But yeah, so and I started doing little things like that. I took the CDL class. Like you can't really take the driver test, but you do take the written test. I started getting all these little certificates program, anything I could do to start to help me. So when I come out, like, you know, I can give to my kids, you know what I mean? Know how to speak to them, know, you know, because when you miss a lot of time like that, it, you know, it could create distance. But for my kids, I mean, the mama that I had, God rest her soul, she just, you know, always told the kids how much I love them, and then they talk to me, and then as they got to be able to talk for themselves, they got to telling me what they wanted from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they tell me, Daddy, keep your head up. Like, it's okay. We'll be right here. Yeah, my kids was telling me that. You know what I'm saying? And it would touch me, and it's like, all right, so I can't get in no trouble. I can't do nothing. I need to just get home to my family, and I just want to spend time with them. So I always wrote them letters, and I talked to them on the phone as much as I possibly can, just to stay close to them. You know what I mean? And that was like the biggest thing for me. And I'm glad that I had a mom that would go get my kids and would allow me to do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was good for me.
Anything, I'm about to get to you getting out, but is there anything else from those 7 years you want to kind of touch on, or just the relationship with your father, or any funny stories, or anything from that time you want to?
I mean, my dad, you know, he was just a funny guy anyway. But prison is, and like you said, because we're in there with my dad. Now, this may be funny or not funny, but I did watch my dad knock somebody out while I was in there. It was crazy because they tried to stab my dad, like literally. Like, so once I got into the door with my dad, he ended up. I was on the same side as him. I think we was on like seaside, but I was on we call it street. So you got one street, two street, three street, stuff like that. I think I was on first street. He was on third. So he ended up getting me moved right next to him. So now we like neighbors. So
Your
just like that,
right next to each other.
right next. Well, we was in a dorm. It was an open dorm. So like our cube is right next to each other. Our bunk bed, like, you know, you got a little wall and all that. But yeah, we right next to each other. But I was just in the dorm one day, just sitting there watching TV. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was watching Young and the Restless. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause you gotta find things to pass your time and stuff. And that was one of them shows I watched, and it kind of got good. But anyway, he comes in and he like, Antonio, come on. I'm like, huh? He like, yeah, man, the dude tried to just stab me. So he had his big jacket on, and then he had a slice in the back of his arm, and he took it. We took it off, and it like sliced him, but it didn't cut him deep. So then he was like, yeah, come on, I got to go handle this. Now I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, this this is what I didn't want to ever have to really experience in prison, because I want to stay out the way. I don't get you know what I'm saying. So now, and I'm watching my dad for the first time like really be angry, because I used to always hear stories about how he used to knock people out. He was an arm wrestling champ. He used to box. He did all this. So now I see what's going on, and we go outside, and he walking, and he like, come on, we go to the gym, and when we get to the gym, he walk in, he tried to walk me over to the bench, and he wanted me to sit down. He said, I'm about to go knock him out. I said, no. I stood up. I said, now I get to show my dad I know how to fight. This is crazy. So I'm like, no, let me do it. He was like, no, just sit right here. Just sit right here. So he pushed me down, sit me down. By the time I could really even sit down, he walked through the doors. He come right back out the doors. Like, come on, let's go. I'm like, what happened? So we walk out the gym, and as you're walking along the walkway, there's a fence because it's a softball diamond. And there's like this back wall back there where they do dips and pull-up bars. The dude just sleep against the wall like this. You know what I'm saying? He was just he would just sleep. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, yeah, I told him they can't mess with my hands, man. But the crazy part about all that happening is that once we went back to the dorm and we talked about it, he's like, y'all can't have that happen. He's like, we gonna have to get him out the compound. He's like, that's how he feel. I said, Dad, just calm down. We got to get home. Like, I love for you to go home, please. Like, don't do nothing crazy. They basically they got other people that kind of like that talk for him and stuff. So some guy talked to my dad. My dad talked to the guy. He went to talk to the other guy that basically sliced my dad with a knife, and then the other dude ended up going to check in. And with check in means he said, hey, he don't want to be on this compound no more. Put me in a hole, ride me to another institution. Cause my dad like was dead serious. He was like, I'm like, I tried to calm him down. He was like, he got to get off this compound because if not, I never know if he's gonna try to hurt me again or if he'll do something to you.
No.
I gotta get you before you get me, man.
Yeah, and it's like that. That's what I'm saying. People like, hey, they think they want to be in prison, and like, no, you don't. Listen, because we was at a camp where it got serious, but it's other prisons where it's like that all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just wanted to go home. I'm like, Dad, hey man, listen, get it together, please. Cause dude, like, cause now when like you're forced in a situation because if something happens, now one of his guys want to retaliate. Now all these people retaliate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what
And
I mean, it's your dad. So what kind of like loyalty and like you have to him? Like I don't know what we're doing, but also you my dad, so I got to ride. But like honestly, I just want to do
yeah, I
my
just want to go, Dad. I'm not getting life in prison. You're gonna have to, hey, you better leave that man alone. You know, I
Yeah.
already knocked him out now. Now
Yeah.
listen, but thank God, but see, that's what I said, God got a plan because thank God that man got off the compound. And my
Yeah.
dad did have a lot of power and pull on there because he'd been down for so long. And people typically didn't like mess with my dad and all like that. They all kind of they feared him, but because they knew he can fight and all that. And his hands is about big as a catcher's mitt, literally.
hands.
Yeah, he got them big, like, yeah, he slapped somebody. It just hit that. It's crazy. It's serious. So that was one of them times where I'm like, man, I like absolutely hated. Like, I hate being in, but it was that situation with my dad. Like, man, I'm really watching, like, my dad was going through this for all these years. You got to think about it. He went to prison when I was, 18 months old? That was the 80s. You know how bad it was in the 80s?
Yeah.
In 90s, like, yeah. So now I kind of understood that it was hard for him to stay out of trouble in a sense because once somebody do something, they call you out your name, if they look at you crazy, like you had to step on the gas, like, hey, who you talking to, who you looking at? Next thing you know, this is how he was in the hole all them times when I used to hear about him being in the hole. Sometimes situation was unavoidable for him, and I understood that at the time, like, oh wow,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
But I
crazy.
just want to go home.
Yeah. And
You
he's been
saying his hands as big as catcher's mitts is
I
wild.
swear, bro, it put both your hands together. That's his hand.
my grandpa.
Literally. Put both your hands together, and that's his hands. Literally. Yeah, he got some. Yeah, he got. Yeah.
So you do your time
Yep.
and it's time to get out. Tell us about what it's like to hear that you're getting out and what, that realization that the kind of separation from your father and this experience that you guys have had, this kind of time that you guys have had is coming to an end. I think you were saying he had possibly moved by that time, but like just
Yep.
kind of walk us through what was going on when you're getting out.
Yeah, my dad, he wasn't even at the same prison no more. He was at another prison doing a program. I had ended up going to this camp, like that's what level 1, which I should have been in the first place. Little camp in the back where it's just open, you got a lot more freedom, room to do whatever. But when I was back there and I finally got I ended up getting I was down 6 years and like almost like 9 months. I ended up getting a judicial because they wanted me to do my last little months in a drug program called CTF. That's yeah, it's a little drug program in the city. So instead of letting me straight out, I went I went there. But I was so happy just to leave because I knew like the next step from there, I was home. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, happy. Calling mom and them, hey, I'm on the way. You know, kids, I'm just excited. Like I'm so happy. Then because once I got in the city, I'm like, okay, well now people like I only got to be here for a couple months and then I'm gone. My dad, he was happy. I just wrote him and let him know that I got judicial and hey, I'm gonna be home. And then he just told me, you know, just stick to your plans, everything that you wanted to do, everything you said you're gonna do, make sure you just be there for the kids like you said, and I'm gonna be all right though.
Where we
Yeah.
ended
Yeah, I
up.
wrote my dad. Yeah, I wrote my dad and just told him out. I was going home and all that. They had gave him 7 extra years at the board. Like he actually ended up getting a judicial. I mean, not judicial, but a parole in 2013. But they took that back. That's a whole nother story. So he got a couple extra years to do because that's what they do. Like when you come from the 80s, you get tails. So they give you all this time and then you got to go see a board. I didn't have to see a board because I'm on the new law. So new law, like you just do your time and then once like I had a mandatory time of 5 years. I had to do 5.5 years mandatory. And then I could file for judicial. But I did file for judicial and then they had denied me first. And then that was like 6 years. So then I had to wait another like 90 days or 6 months or something like that. And then they finally end up giving me the judicial the second time. And it didn't matter to them that because I had all kind of COs and counselors and everybody that vouched for me to say, hey, I was basically a model inmate that, took care of business, that stayed out the way, that was respectful, I had all these certificates, I did college, I did everything. But when they gave it to me, I was excited. I got back to the city. I was CTF is the drug program. I had to be there for 90 days. But I was able to come home, like get like passes to come home within like 30 days. So the transition out was what I was excited about. And but I looked up, it was over and I was home and I was free. I was on
Yeah.
probation. That's cool. I'll take it. I don't care. Get me out of here. I'll take the probation. So I was on probation. They gave me like 3 years paper, but I got off in like no, they gave me like yeah, I had a year. No, I had 2 years paper, but I got off in a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
When
was
Um,
you
free.
when you went in, I don't know what year that was, but
what year you go?
2008,
2008.
the
When
end
were
of 2008.
Apple phones and all that?
Oh yeah, was
No,
there like a big
The
technology
technology
transition? Anything
changed for
happen
you?
big?
well, yeah, no, everything changed. No, we didn't have no Apple, but I did have a BlackBerry because that's when they had the BlackBerry that came out way back when I had a BlackBerry. I had some type of sidekick. Yeah, I had like a little sidekick, it spin and did all this extra stuff. The phone that turned to the side and all that. I had one of them. Yeah, no, we ain't had no apples. When I came out, everybody had apples and FaceTime, and I'm like, huh? Hey, it's like a time warp because you be like. You come out 7 years, all these kids that I knew, they grew up, my kids grew up, and it was like everything just changed. Everybody wearing skinny jeans. And I kept saying, I'll never wear them skinny jeans, man. I ain't never wearing those skinny jeans, tight shirts, all that. I'm like, man, I don't want no shirt, but I put on muscle and everything. So,
Yeah.
I had to give me a tight tee. You got to keep up with the times.
Man, as soon as I started wearing the tight skinny jeans, now they went back to the baggy jeans.
Now they want to wear stacked jeans. And I'm like,
Y'all
uh,
sound old.
I mean, hey, man, hey, you got to keep up with them, man.
Man,
That's all I
see,
know.
man.
Okay, so you have been exactly who you are, and I'm sure everyone by this point watching is loving you and so proud of you and thinks that you're amazing,
Yeah,
which you are. But there's
thank
more
you.
to this story because you get out,
Yeah.
and then what happens, Tony?
I get out, I'm working, I'm doing like parking cars at Jeep and all that. And then my brother Dre, like he was down in Atlanta. He does all this. He was on like Bad Girl Club and Tool Academy. He's in movies and stuff like that. Like he's doing his extra work. So he's like, bro, come down here. Because that's what I was doing music with before I did the 7 years. We was on tour with Hot Styles and Young Jock, and we was getting ready to sign with Jive Records at this time. Um, so he's like, come down here. I got it. I got it together. I'm gonna help you get in movies. I'm gonna help you do a lot of different things. So I stopped working. I end up going down to Atlanta, and we start like I was. They didn't show me in the Pac movie, but I was an extra in like 4 of the scenes. They just didn't show me in the Pac movie. They had me come in, told me I was the leader of the blood. They put me in the front with Suge. They gave me a red shirt, red flag, all that, man. And they ain't even put me in the movie. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I did a couple of little extra acting work, and me and my brother we was doing music, and then I was going back and forth from Atlanta to Toledo. But one day I spent the corner, and here's the thing: when you get out of prison, normally, typically, a lot of people don't have nothing, and if you're used to a certain status, it's easy to kind of fall back into trying to get there again because you're used to a certain status, especially when you come from the street and you come from a lot of money and all that. And I had a lot of bread. I was doing my thing. But now I got kids. I got 5 kids. They older, need stuff. I need stuff, crib. So once I turned the corner one day, I met a guy, and basically I had a conversation, and I ended up getting back in the game. And that was, because I was telling myself, like, man, I got to be able to take care of my kids. I need some money. And I'm not no thief or no robber or nothing. So I'm not going to do that to nobody. I mean, I worked. The job just wasn't doing what I needed to do. The job wasn't jobbing. You know what I mean? $400 a week wasn't going to do nothing for me. Because by the time they take taxes, I, I was just broke.
When
You
you
know what I'm
said
saying? I was
when you
broke.
said
So I
when you said you spent the corner, that means you went back.
Yeah, when I bit the corner, I'm not for real. I end up, to be honest, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it or nothing. It just, I end up met the Spanish guy. Boom, we got talking. I spoke a little bit of Spanish, just enough to say what I need to say. You know what I'm saying? So, and from there, he told me to meet him again, and we had a couple meetings, and the next thing you know, it was like, what can you do? What can you move? Type stuff, and I'm like, I always have all these connections and know people, so I'm like, hey, I can. So kind of got back into it. I was making money doing things. Then they started giving me, you know, I was on like a big level. They was giving me bricks, so. And one day we end up I come back from Atlanta to meet them. And they give me they give me a package where they give me like 4 or 5, we call them slabs, but and one of my guys like, yo, I know some people down in Dayton, you know what I'm saying, that we can go move the whole thing like that. So I'm like, all right, well, set it up. And we go down there, and he do what he's supposed to, do whatever he did with them, just to, they testing everything, seeing what's going on. And then he had to go back because he was on probation. And so when he went back, he was like, man,
Probation at the time, or you were done with your probation?
yeah, I was done. Yeah, I was done. I had completed mine. I was successfully completed. I was done. So
That's
that, and I think that's where I'm like, okay.
mhm.
But he go back. I had to take him back, and um, and I left my other little brother down there because he came and he brought a girl who drove us down there because I wasn't driving none of that stuff. Drove us down there, but he like, hey, take her back too. So when I went to take my brother back, I took the girl back, dropped them off. He went to see his PO. Next thing you know, he called me. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way. He's like, no, 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 don't come. They locking me up. Guess they locked him up because he didn't sign some papers for his probation, and it was their fault and all that. But he gave me a number to a guy who had some stuff that I needed to get back. So I called him. He like, all right, come on. I came back down there. I did that. And I guess in the midst of that, like we came into what's called they were doing like some type of sting operation because they had a bad heroin pandemic down there in Dayton at the time. So we drove into something like that, and basically they had undercovers everywhere. So any little movement, you wouldn't have known what was going on. But now that I look back and I see what happened, um, once I met the guy, I do see this black Ram truck right there, but I really wasn't paying attention. I'm like, hey man, just give me what you got to get my stuff back. That's it. But the next day I tell my little brother, like, hey man, let's just leave this stuff here. Get your girl to come back down here, and she could just take it back or something like that, because they don't really bother women all like that for real. So he was like, no, I don't trust her, and I don't trust these dudes. Let's just take this stuff, go back. And then once we took the stuff and put it in the car, got in the car, I wasn't even on the highway, probably like 30 seconds. The state trooper got behind me.
Mm.
He rolled me for about like a minute. I tried to speed up just to get up because I had a semi right next to me. So I speed up to like 5 miles to get in front of the semi. Then he got over. Then he pulled me over. I already knew what it was. It took him about 13 minutes. Once he came to the window, he was like, "Hey man, I ain't gonna get you for speeding or nothing like that." I was like, "Hey, I was just trying to get out your way, man. I ain't know you. You was on my head. I didn't know." Like he like, "Well, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna put for you going 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. Just let me get your license. I'm gonna get you out of here." Now my license valid. I don't smoke weed. I was in a Charger, by the way.
Okay.
I was in one of them new Chargers, and me and my little brother in the car. So we going live, huh?
I said, and they always stopping those.
Man, they always stop in the Chargers. So from there, he just when he went back with the license, I just called my mom. I kept calling her, calling. She wouldn't answer the phone. Finally, I just told her I'm going to jail in Vidalia because I already knew it took them people 13 minutes.
Oh, they was back there for that long.
They was back there for that long. It's a state trooper with the state truck with the, he got the dog in the back, everything. And I already know. And I'm thinking like, oh my God. So for 13 minutes, when I look back, finally look out the rear, here come that black Ram truck. And the black Ram truck, some tall, the skinny white dude come out. He got the badge around his neck. It's Homeland Security. So then they say, hey, all right, roll the windows up. We about to run the dog around the car. They run the dog around the car and all. I'm like, oh my God. Like, what's going on? Yeah, because I ain't had this happen now. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah, so I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, man, but you said you ain't smelled no marijuana, none of. He was like, yeah, but it's he like, because it was raining a little bit, and he was just saying that somebody could have rolled by and spoke weed, and that's maybe what alerted. But they got tricks that they do. They gonna get into your car. They got tricks. They hit that dog a certain way. That dog gonna alert something. As long as the tail hit the door or something. So it ran around the car. He said that the dog indicated it was marijuana in the car. That's when I was saying, like, I thought you said it wasn't no, you didn't smell no weed. And that's when he's trying to explain to me how it could be. So they took me and my brother out the car. They put us in the back of the state trooper car and put him in the front. They put me in the back. They didn't arrest us.
Okay.
But I told you, I had my phone. I kept calling my mom. She was good for not answering her phone. Like, mama, sleep. So I'm in the back. I'm just like, we going to jail in Vidalia. I just knew it. So, and what happened was I felt like they already knew. I felt like they already went into the room that night because we had went out that night. I feel like they went into the room that night once they seen what we were doing with the guy. It just because it looked funny, just him handing us up the money back or whatever. And I think they already knew because they didn't even search the inside of the car like how they normally would search. They just popped the trunk. I got 4 bags back there. One bag is a bag full of money rolls. The other bags are big duffel bags. Because like I said, I was going back and forth to Atlanta. And I got 2 licenses. I got Atlanta driver license and I got a Toledo driver license. But they got me going north, not south. So once he opened up the trunk, he went for 1 bag. He see what he see. He find what he wasn't supposed to find, but he find it. And then he said, hey, get the driver. So they motioned me to come from out the car. He came around, got me, and he stood in the back. He was like, look, and like he said it just like this. This all in the paperwork. He said, I'll be honest with you. This appeared to be a brick of cocaine. He said, we don't care about that. That ain't number 2-3 years in the feds. He asked me, where is the heroin and the fentanyl at? And I looked at him and I said, sir, I don't know nothing about no heroin and fentanyl, but this is mine, and my little brother don't got nothing to do with it. Then he was like, okay, so you don't know nothing about that. This is yours. This not your brother's. Like so this is all you. I'm like, yeah, it's all mine. Then he was like, do you got a cash buyer? I'm like, man, I don't know nothing about all that, man. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just letting you know this is mine. I'm gonna take the ownership. Then he was like, do you got a safe? He asked me, do I got to say, do I got some money at home? I said, I just got the money you got from me, sir. And that one number $1,700. I'm like, I don't, yeah, I don't know who you think I am. I am not El Chapo, sir. I do not have a pipeline. That was not me. I promise you. But from there, so like, I mean, he wasn't too rude. Like, and I already knew from prison,
Yeah.
from guys who did Fed time, like, boy, if you ever get caught by the Fed, don't ever in your life talk crazy to them. Don't, because they gonna do you bad. So I already knew. And then my little brother, like, even though we both can't go down for this. So in that moment, in that time, I literally thought my life was over. Like, because I just did a 7-year stretch. Then I get out is a year later, and now I'm into this. And then it's a whole thing. Is you know what I mean? That we were talking about 27 grams. Now we talking about 1,000 grams. And I got caught with it. So it ain't nobody tell like, you know what I'm saying? And I got caught with it. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm back in my head again, like, oh my God, my auntie gonna find out about this. Oh my God. Like I feel like more in trouble with her than I did the police.
You know what? At this time, I think I was with Mel.
You were. We were together. Because we were like,
and they were telling me. Because at this time, you was in my world, you was this myth and legend of Tony. I ain't met you yet. And I was like,
talked him up. He's like our brother.
Yeah.
with him, and I think my sister is in the chat right now, but he was our protector. He was
Yeah.
willing to get down with whoever on
Yeah.
behalf of
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All day long. Yeah. So I'm devastated again, but yeah, they take me down, man. And when you get when you catch a Fed case, like the Fed's gonna do you like this, you're gonna give them time, regardless if you're innocent or not. You're giving them time. Why? Because they're gonna stretch your case out so far. They will not let you bond out. And if you are somebody that got caught with drugs, you do not want to bond out because all they're gonna do is let you go around all your people, follow them, and then that's why they'll think that you're telling on them because you don't know that you're being watched and being followed. So anywhere you go, now they start hitting spots. So even though at the time, and this is even crazier because Royalty, Allie was pregnant with Royalty.
Mm.
Yeah. And I didn't know until I did. Huh?
uh, she was still your girlfriend at the time,
She
or
was at this time I had let me see.
proposed?
Yep, she was because it was his twin sister. Yep, she was just my girlfriend still.
Okay. And so his girlfriend at the time is now pregnant, and he's catching this Fed case.
Yeah, by catching this Fed case, and I'm like, damn. Oh my God. So they take us down and they do what's called a 48-hour detective release. So basically, if they don't come get you in 48 hours or ran you or something, they just let you go. So they came and got my brother in 48 hours. Now, but mind you, just to back this up, so y'all know, the whole time that when they took us down to Dayton to Montgomery County, because they caught me with what they caught me with, they sent the police to my mom's house
Hmm.
because that was the address on my license,
Got it.
and I was going that way. And I heard them talking, like I hear them talking, you know what I'm saying? And this was just what happened. They had me in a room and they like, listen, we just caught you. They're like, what, like, is there anything else? Do you want to tell us? Because we're gonna, if you got anything, we're gonna find it. I'm like, I kept telling them I don't have nothing, but then they talking about going to my mom's house, and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, dang. But my mom knew. Here's the thing about my mom, and God rest her soul. My mom always felt like she could just protect me. Like she would rather know what I was doing, not that she condoned it. She just would rather know what I was doing and how to help me if I ever got into some trouble because I was just her baby boy. I'm her only boy. You know what I'm saying? And she just like, but they go over there and you know, my girlfriend at the time, she goes over there. As they found nothing, but they just was there for like an hour and a half and going through everything. They didn't find anything. But when my girlfriend had pulled up at the time, they had grabbed her, slammed her with the baby, all kind of stuff. Like she was just coming to check on the house. So they did go over there, but they didn't find anything. So that was a good thing about that. So because I was nervous. I really thought it was over. Oh my God, I thought it was over. Like, oh my God, I'm going to jail. Oh my goodness. But it didn't happen that way. And then they did a 48-hour detective release. They let my brother go. So we was like in a cell together, me and him. And no, he was down. I was up and they let him out. So I'm standing at the door with my bag. I'm at the bag, got my bag like this, thinking I'm about to go. They was like, they said, hey, the marshals are here to get you. I said, what? Man, I was so sorry. So they take you over to the another building. They come get you. They take you over to another building. You do not get a bond hearing. They just an arraignment hearing to know that what your charges are. Then they take you back. Then they take you. Then they take you back, and then you wait like another week, and then you have a bond hearing.
Oh my
And
God.
then everybody came to court. My mom, stepfather at the time, my girlfriend, and they was just telling them like, I don't have a bad record or nothing, but they were just like, for what I got caught with, they can't let me out. So I had to stay there. I probably stayed in the county for about 5 months. But like I said, I took ownership of everything. I just wanted to get it over with. I didn't have no like, hey, it's mine. Because you don't want about to sit me there for 3-4 years and then tell me y'all ready to arraign me to give me some more time. Nope, just come on. So I end up just the judge end up adopting what's called 11C1C is basically where he could either give me just 3 years or he can choose to give me my guidelines. And my guideline sentence was from 47 to 57 months. So when I first caught the case, I was facing 5 to 40. 5
You,
years to 40 years. Yes, that's the Fed's guideline. 5 years to 40 years. and then they dropped that from 5 to 40 to 0 to 20 years because of acceptance. Once you accept everything, you know, you just like, hey man, it's mine. I'm not fighting nothing. And then also your record also helps too, though, because like if you got a bad record, then you'll be high up on this tier. So the judge was just like, look, I don't believe you're a bad guy. I know you just did time. I see that you was a model inmate in there. I see that you got these certificates. Like he's seen everything that I was telling you. And seeing that I had a fiance, knew all that. So he basically just gave me an opportunity. And he just said, look, I'm gonna choose to adopt this 11C1C and I'll give you the, 3 years. And I was able to do the RDAP program and all that in there because the RDAP program knocks off about a year off your sentence up to like 18 months because you get 6 months halfway house, a year off your sentence. But I only got 7 months when I get there. But we'll talk about that. But that's how I end up getting my time. They gave me 3 years to go doing the feds.
And being that you had already done the state time, obviously this is a different experience. Your dad is not here. What was your mindset, or like what were the differences between that time versus the state time for you?
The feds a lot more. The feds are a lot more scary because when you go to feds, based on the level that they send you to, like if you like a level 2, you could be like a level 2 medium. A medium is like where you got to go to sleep with your shoes on, you shower with your shoes on, all that, because everything is so political. When you get there, like let's say if you're from, like I'm from Toledo, so like I'm from Ohio, but in Toledo, Cleveland and Toledo guys sometimes they beef, but in there you have to stick with the whole Ohio car.
Oh,
It's called a car. So when
okay.
you walk in, you're like, yo, where you from? And you like, you don't say Toledo,
Uh-huh.
or you know what I'm saying? You say Ohio. And they're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like, yeah, oh, your homies over there.
Oh my
And they're gonna
God.
have a guy that's gonna walk you down to the table where all the Ohio guys is. So whatever beef y'all got, oh, it ain't no beef. Like, yeah. Y'all gotta stick together.
Yeah.
And they sit you in right there. And when you do come in, everybody from Ohio car, they supposed to, get you like they're supposed to get you like some supplies, like you need soap and toothpaste and
Like, welcome to the Ohio.
yeah, but yeah, and then you got 30 days to get your paperwork to show that you're not a rat.
Oh,
Because if you are a rat, you either gonna check in or they're gonna kill you. Or they beat you up real bad.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
No, it's really like that. So for me, knowing I'm about to go to the feds, I wasn't scared of that part, like because I'm like, I mean, I ain't no rat or no snitch, so it's cool. But just to know that when you get in there, the politics are so crazy that yes, when one go, everybody go. So if if one of the Ohio car get into it on the basketball court at Child or just in the dorm, if they get into it with the Pittsburgh boys, or if they get into it with like where I was at, so I was out in Cumberland, Maryland. When the DC boys, if you get into it with them with just one, you're getting into it with everybody. And that means in each one of these dorms, it go crazy. Like they can start just going off. This is how it goes. And they got pokers, they stabbing stuff, they not playing. You know what I'm saying? So this is more scary than state, because state is a city thing. Feds is a state thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it get bad, especially because now you got gangs in here. Like you got like they got gangs in the state, but they gangs out there, especially it's completely different. So if you somebody that got like murderers and stuff like that, oh, they going like the Big Sandy and stuff like that. If you ever heard about Big Sandy, yeah, Big Sandy ain't gonna play with you. As soon as you come in, you gonna be with it's segregated, blacks, whites, Mexicans. It's just like that. And yeah, and yeah, you gotta go to the shower and keep your shoes on everywhere, because they're gonna give you a knife. They're gonna give you a knife when you walk in there. Yeah,
Oh,
because you gotta protect yourself. They don't play. But
what
see,
about, so somebody saying, what is Big Sandy?
so Big Sandy is another federal. It's a federal. It's a federal penitentiary. So that's where they send the highest level, the murderers, the rapers, the gang bangers, like from Cali, like them, the you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I'm talking about the ones, the real ones that really be putting in real work. So now you on this yard, like, yeah, and all that tough stuff is like, yeah, and you gotta go in there, you're gonna be with your kind for sure, because it ain't no way to just be on your own, because if you was on your own, they're gonna eat you alive. And
What if
that paperwork better be good too. Yeah, people will come extort you and all that. Like they'll pull up on you because you by yourself. They'll pull up on you 10 deep. What's up? Take whatever they want from you. You know what I mean? And if you don't comply with them, you know they stab you up. But you know, yeah, they rape people. They did all that.
what if
They not.
are what if there's not a lot of Ohio people in the penitentiary? Like,
Well, when there's not a lot of Ohio people, what happens is like you know you gonna go stick with just the like if you're a black man, you're gonna go stick with the blacks.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then and you can get it ain't that they don't get cool with other people because it's all like I said, it's political. So what they do is, you know, people got each one from each card that go talk and they have meetings and you know what I mean, how everything should be moved, who can do what, who can't do what, where you can go, where you can't go, what table you can sit at. So like in our dorm, like you got probably about 12 TVs. Each TVs is different. So this is the Ohio TV right here. Then you got the Mexican TV over there. You got the DC boys over there. You got the white boys, that's their TV. And everybody, you got to have your earphones in because and your little Walkman type thing so you get like a MP3 player to channel to that channel so you can hear what's going on. Like you can't touch nobody TV and you can't sit at their tables. This is their area.
Oh my
Like
God.
it's yeah, so I was just thankful that where I went, it was a level 2, but it was a level 2 low, meaning these people have been in these crazy places, but they just really trying to go home now. They
That's what
like me.
Theme of this episode is I'm just trying to go
I'm
home.
just trying to go home. You know what I'm
that
saying?
that
I'm
was
just trying. I'm just trying to go home. And I'm gonna tell you right now, because when I walked in there, it went. I just had to. I poked my chest. I'm like, look. I told him my name, where I'm from. I'm like, look, man. You know, I know y'all need paperwork. My paperwork will be here on Monday. I said, with all due respect, when I give y'all my paperwork, I want to see y'all paperwork too. And I did straight like that. And then I told him, then I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. One of the guys I'm so close with to this day, he owns clubs and everything. I just was with him last Saturday for the fight. That Mason Abdullah versus my boy Albert Bell. Well, that's their fighter, so you know that's why I said their name because they're boxers. They're famous, you know. But went down there with him, but me and him got tight right out the gate. And I told him, like, I told everybody, I said, listen, do not get into nothing because I'm not going to crash out for you. I'm going home to my kids, bro. I got to go home. So please don't get into nothing. Please. Cause we had to talk a couple guys out of some stuff because we really wasn't on that type of we wasn't on in that type of prison where everybody, I mean, with some people is still on that, it's just you still had to show your paperwork, but they wanted to go home too though. So that's why I did the RDAP program at. So I left one dorm and went into the RDAP program, and it really didn't matter what city they or none of that. They made you everybody got to integrate. Like, come on, that's what this program was about. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good thing about where I was at, but I didn't know where they was gonna send me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even supposed to be in a medium low. I was supposed to be at a level 1 low. I was supposed to be at a low because my record was low. I had GED, college. They based all that. Them are points. My points was only I only had 13 points, 12, 13 points. I was supposed to be at the camp where they ain't got no fence. Yeah, not for real. Well, you ain't got no fence. I was supposed to be there. Yeah, I don't get in no trouble like that now. You know, I might have did some gangster stuff now, but I don't get in no trouble, man. I be trying to stay out the way because I understand. Like, I don't argue. I never argue with the COs and that because I understood this is their world. I don't care how tough you think you is or what they let you do. They can pull you away from all that in a second and make your life a living hell.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hey, big dog, you got it. Go ahead. Yup. I'm gonna stay over here. All I did was play basketball. That's it. But basketball will get you into a lot of fights too, because people get to talking and just too tough, and it could get serious. But thank God I didn't have to do that. So yeah, hell yeah, yes. The feds not knowing where you're going can be scary, and for sure. Yes.
I I had certain friends growing up. I just knew like I got to stay away from this one
Oh
because
yeah.
got they itching for something to happen. You ran into some of those?
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. I'm talking to
Yeah.
dude like, why you want something like that? But bro, you don't like women? Like you just want to be here with a bunch of hard legs. I'm like, bro, like what is you mad about? Like, bro, just
Yeah.
you got 3 years left, bro. Go home.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what, big dog, you right, big dog. You right, big dog. They're like, man, I don't know, man. Don't nobody love me. Like people be in there like that. Like they be, and mind you, in the feds, you only get 300 minutes on the phone a month. So once you run out 300 minutes, it's over. So yeah, and then you got like we didn't have like how they got JPEGs. They have JP4 players, tablets and stuff in the state. We didn't have that in the state either. We just had MP3 players. But as time went on, they started allowing them to have these tablets where they can call you off their tablets and stuff like that. And but you still have the wall unit. Well, in the feds, yeah, you just get the 300 minutes a month. Once you done, ain't no reload. And it's very hard, like when you gotta try to space your minutes out because now you only got this little computer that you can just send a text message to and talk back and forth like that, and you only get 20 minutes on the computer, and then you got a line, and you definitely don't want to try to. Ain't no trying to double back and do all get. Oh no, because people you fighting over that for sure. No, immediately, and then that phone, people can't call home, so therefore when they running out of minutes, and then they supposed to get a visit, they don't get the visit. They supposed to get some money, they don't get no money. Like these are things that just drive people crazy. Then they find out they girl cheating. They find or not even cheating, that she just sleeping with somebody else. This drive people crazy because they can't do nothing about it. You hear them on the phone, dogging them, calling them all out their name. Just crashing out, fight. Then they go fight the CO after that, or they might stab you. It was just crazy. Like, and I had to tell them a couple guys that I did get cool with, I played chess with, like, bro, just calm down, man. Talk to God. For real. I prayed with brothers in there. Um, yeah, I did that for sure. Like, cause it was just like, bro, just chill. Some of my little young guys, just trying to give them a different outlook, let them know my state story. And then they like, dang, man, I tell them about the comments and what you can really do if you just give yourself a chance. I'm like, even me, you know what I'm saying? I take my own advice. Like, you got to get out here and just, you got to put the work in. You really want to go somewhere in life. You can trap it out. You can do all that. But the thing about that happens is that you get so addicted. And it's very hard to turn from that because now you got all this money, change, women everywhere. But the thing about it is, it's just a facade. It really is. Because this is where you come back to or the great, because now you got to be in most states, most people that hustle, trap. Like if you in New York or Philly, they have blocks. You have to get permission to trap on blocks. See, in my city, you go where you want and do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Have people how you want. It's different. It's not like New York and Cali and stuff like it. Yeah, people catch you on the wrong block. Like, hey man, what you doing? You can't do that. Yeah, and they take you out over that type of stuff. So I'm like, bro, you only gonna have flash or have the money for a little bit before somebody trying to knock you off a throne. You can't be low key up under the radars. It's just different. It's politics, and you got to get permission. Like when they say when you come in my city, you got to check in. Yeah, it's real. Like it's serious. Yeah.
I just want to say, because people were commenting about this, because you were just talking about like women being out and people learning that they're women with other people, and you mentioned this when we were talking at the hotel or maybe on the phone the other day. Regardless, you were talking about how in your experience a lot of the men would be more concerned with the women versus like their children. They're more concerned with the women being with other men and staying. The advice you would tell them, which is like, you can't control that. And what do you expect, really? Like, what do you expect when you're locked down like that?
I mean, for me, like I said, my first number when I did the state time, I was salty because, my wife now was my girlfriend then, she decided that she didn't want to be with me. And she would tell you if she was here on the, I called her one day and she wouldn't answer the phone. I kept calling. And I was getting frustrated, my heart dropping, all in my stomach. I'm like, oh, because you just know, oh my God, they got my baby. You know what I'm saying? But she finally she picked up, bro. She picked up a week later. And she was just like, why you keep calling me? I don't love you. I don't want to be with you. Leave me alone. And she hung up on me.
Dang.
I was like, man, I slammed that phone so hard. And I just went back. So now OG in there that was, that I like worked out with and was just talking to, have a conversation with, I was so mad. He just looked at me, said, man, what's going on? And I told him, like, she left me. I'm like, I'm mad. I'm upset. He was like, let me ask you a question. He said, when you was out there, did you do what you wanted to do? I was like, yeah. He was like,
AKA,
exactly. So he was like, exactly. So she don't owe you nothing but to just take, huh?
he said, "Did you do what you wanted to do?" AKA cheat. Was you still
Yeah, like basically like was you out there moving? Yeah, basically like, yeah, was you doing you? I was like, yeah. So he was like, she don't owe you nothing but just to take care of your baby. And when he said that to me, it just hit me. And I'm like, you know what? You right. You right. Because I ain't want to be crashing out over no one, but what I was seeing in there is all these people in there that, we try to tell them that type of stuff, but they didn't care. They're like, no, man, I did this before I did that. And she over there taking this and she doing that. And all they could think of is what they were doing to her, what now she's doing with somebody else.
Mhm.
Yeah, they ain't care about the kid. I mean, they love the kid, but they wanted to get a hold of that girl. And then when she start acting funny, he like, oh, so you gonna act funny because I ain't wait till I get out. Yeah, wait till I get out. We like, bro, that ain't gonna do nothing, man. You can't, what you gonna do? Beat her up? Like, what you gonna do? She ain't about to be, you know what I mean? And yeah, and then hurt women do hurt things sometimes. So like, especially a man that if you do cheat, like when she finally get away from you and you're not just her world,
Mhm.
she realized that she wants something different, something better. She deserved better because there's other men that's stepping up, like they're handsome, they got money, they got, you feel me, whatever the case may be. And you're in there, you're doing 7 years, 5 years. What you think she gonna do, bro?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause what would you be doing if she locked up?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And they can't handle it. That's why I was saying they go to peel call. It was God, like I'm telling you, state and fed. They go to peel call because they're trying to sleep their time away. They need to be medicated versus just like, hey, you can't control the outside, bro. Just do what's best for you in here. Get every certificate you can, any trade that you can get while you in, because they offer all that type of stuff in there. HVAC, electrical, plumbing, everything. So it is a place where you can rehabilitate yourself and keep your mind off all that extra other stuff. And it does hurt when you can't. The difference is when you outside and somebody decide to leave you, you actually can go do something about it because you can move on. But
Mhm.
when you in prison, don't think you do. If you do find somebody else, is just talk to them on the phone. You don't get to touch her like that unless you come to visit. But
Mm.
then that's just a hug and a kiss.
Right.
Yeah, she get more than that. Yeah, it's insane. I'm
I
Okay.
telling
don't
you.
think I ever went to jail, but I come out with all the trades.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
clapped. He's a fan of
I'll
trades.
be
He
a
wants everybody to have a
electrician,
trade.
master plumber, HVAC.
man, and believe it or not, that's why I said, like, God sit you down and then you got to look up because even if you did go to college, it's cool, that's nice. But when you got a trade, it say you certified to do something,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you always gonna have a job because if you are electrical, they always need it. Plumbing, they always need it. You know what I mean? Carpentry, construction, they always need that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
Okay, so you finish your timeout and you get released. And when did you get out from the feds?
April of 2018.
April of 2018. So we're about 8 years from when you were released. You've been out for 8 years now.
Yes.
Haven't gone back.
Thank God. Woo.
And talk about you got some sense. You didn't got some sense on you and you
Yeah.
made better choices and better decisions and just talk
Yeah.
about kind of like the transition back into society and what it's been like to make better decisions. You've gotten married, like your daughter, obviously your youngest is here now. And so what has it been like rebuilding those relationships with your family, your friends? What has that been like?
Uh, I mean, it's been a process, but a little journey, and I've been happy to been on the journey though too, because when I did come home in April, of course, my wife now she was there. She wasn't going nowhere though. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, she know what time it is. They not me, baby. But nah, but it's all good. That she came pick me up outside, and then from there it was. I was broke. I didn't have nothing because a lot of money got messed up again, but I did go to work. I did start doing, better. And I went and got my kids. Well, my other kid, I got other kids by another woman. When I got them three, and just I was just trying to be there every step of the way. My wife was just, and now she was just like, she took on a lot. Like she shouldered the bills at first, and she had a place for us. Like we had to share a car, all that type of stuff. Like, and I went back to doing my music. I got with my brother, who my manager also, and my pastor and everything, all at once. It's crazy. But my guy, this is why I was on tour with Hot Styles and Young Jock with. This the one that came and got us, said it's my guy. He from Chicago. And I just he just like, look, man, what's we gonna do? We're gonna start this label. We gonna get busy. And then from there, from just working, and then I was doing construction with my guy who when I got out, he showed me how to do all this stuff. I didn't have a certificate for it, but he did show me how to, like, I was painting, I was putting in drop ceilings, I was putting in decks, using augers. Yeah, Greg, I was getting that work in. You hear me?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying, Greg, I was getting that work in, man. You
I'm
know?
gonna be excited for you. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man. So I do know how to do a little something though. You
yeah.
feel me? So you know what I mean. But I actually found out I really like painting because it's just like the whole process is putting it all together, and then like the prep work. But then my son was playing basketball. My other son was in Cleveland. He was playing football, basketball. So I was going back and forth between Cleveland and Toledo, and doing all these things. It's so excited, happy, and then eventually, I started a real estate company and a trucking company, and with the trucking company, I started traveling across over the road. I had a Sprinter van that we pick up loads and go, all over state lines, and this is fun. So I started that, and kids, of course, they got older. I got a couple that graduated, but I've been there every step of the way, and that's been the biggest blessing. And then, with me and my wife, we got engaged in 2019. I did it on Valentine's Day. She walked out the door. I had the flowers, and I was on a knee, and she didn't even know. I had my daughter go trick her and all this stuff. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I proposed to her and everything. And we got married in 2021, in Puerto Rico at the Ritz Carlton. Yeah, damn it, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
I say, because you're fans legally.
yeah, you feel me? At the Ritz Carlton, we was on COVID time. That was cool. I was, hey, as far as the prices was nice. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was what she wanted to do. She wanted to get married on the beach. So we got married on the beach, all that. And I felt like, in that time from 2018 even to 2021, at that time, just transitioning, like everything is a step at a time. That's all it is. And
Mhm.
as long as I got to be here for my babies, my kids, and I'm going to basketball games, football games. I'm the one to go to the parent teacher conference. She ain't going. She don't even want to talk to nobody. She like, talk to your dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool because I take it. Like, you know what? I wasn't here for all this time. That's cool. The little baby, she was just running around, and I was excited just to be there with her. And yeah, we was just building and got to this point like where we are now. We ended up getting married, we got a crib,
Yeah.
we got businesses. She has her own uh last building. Well, that's what she does. She does, like, she's last extension. She's an esthetician now, so
Yes,
she got a
esthetician now and graduated. She got a little salon.
graduate. Yeah, she got a salon. She got it all. Yeah, she over there popping. You know what I'm saying? She popping. Yeah, and then yeah, then my oldest daughter graduated, my oldest son graduated, youngest son, two youngest sons graduated. So yeah, like it's just been a blessing, and it's just been good to see. And I just, like I said when you asked the question earlier, like, would I go back and do, go to trial and all that? But I think if I did, it changes the outcome if I beat the case, versus me really having to go through these period and grow and become the man that I am today. Because, and even though I got out and I went back, God smacked me with that Jesus sandal again. Hey boy, what you doing? Come on. You know what I mean? But it's just the journey, and then what I learned, and then even the RDAP program, it just taught me so much about communication and just understanding, listening, enabling, and everything that I'm supposed to hear. I guess when you sit down with, God will sit you down so you can really hear him and pay
Mhm.
attention,
Yeah.
and then you look up, and then it's motivation all around me. Like, y'all motivation to me, Kev, Melissa, what I'm saying, all y'all, like, y'all motivation, because I'm like, look at my people. They up there, they look at my people. You know what I'm saying? And I be wanting to, and then of course I lost my mom in 2020. God rest her soul.
Mhm.
That was my biggest supporter. And damn, I miss that lady. But yeah, she was there for every step of the way, both times. She didn't come really visit me out there in Cumberland because it was so far, but my wife came out there. That was good for me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so going through all that and just watching the kids grow once I got out and being able to be a part of everything and being able to help and not just talk on the phone, but I'm able to help and step up and fix problems and, you know what I'm saying, direct and lead. And that's been the best feeling ever for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to ask you, you kind of touched on it, and even just throughout the conversation, because we're gonna wrap up in a minute. But what would you tell younger? I mean, we cover so many trials, a lot of young men, that we cover who get themselves in these situations that they can't get out of. And I'm just curious, as someone who has lived that life, who has done some time, who has matured from it, who has figured out how to navigate kind of, I think at the heart of like drug dealers is really like entrepreneurs. They just want to, they're creative and they just
Yeah.
want
That's
like,
basically what we are for sure.
and so being able to redirect that in a positive way. And so anyway, my point is you've gone through so much. Like, what do you tell, or what would you tell for someone who's like in that situation, or kind of in a place you used to be? What would you tell them to get out of it, or to encourage them to make better decisions?
Well, so as you know, I've been doing what's called Toka Prison Chronicles. And
Mhm.
that's what me, that's I'm really giving them like insight on like what I went through, how I went through it, got through it, and how they can. And that's what made me start that because I want them to know, like, look, you may have your back against the wall. It may be all that, but at the end of the day, you're gonna lose your life. And I don't mean just like if somebody kill you, but I mean just your freedom.
Mhm.
And you lose, especially if you got kids, a mama, whatever, your girl, all that. You lose all of that, and you it's not worth it, honestly. Like, yeah, you get out of situations with real quick, some money, but it just it's like a rabbit hole. You just go down that rabbit hole. So the best thing that for you could do, and it ain't just just get up and go to college. No, get up and go get a trade.
Mhm.
Go get you a trade because in a lot of cities they pay you to go get a trade, so you can get paid to go learn a skill. And next thing you know, you your CDL, you're driving dump trucks, your electrical, all that. That's what I've been telling young guys. Like, listen, I wish I would have did all that because I'm like, at the end of the day, you make decisions, but this game is not built for you to win. It's built for you to lose because you have so many jealous haters. Then the police are after you. They're just doing their job. Because if you reach a certain level, they are. If you reach a certain level, they got to come see about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be facing 5 to 40. You don't want to have to go to 7 years and have to get big in prison or go to college in prison. You want to be able to have and control everything because they tell you what to do when you locked up. They tell you when to stand up. They tell you when to sit down. They tell you when to get on the phone and go to child, when you can get a visit, when you can't. And if the yard go crazy, they shut everything down. Nobody can do nothing. And you don't want to give these people your life. You don't want to give them that power over you when you can control your own destiny. Yeah, it's gonna be a longer road, it's gonna be harder, but long as you got God, He gonna work it out for you.
Yeah.
I promise you. So I've been telling them, like I talk to the young guys all the time. Even when I was in there, they'd be like, you right, big bro. But I'm just saying, like, so that's why I got the Prison Chronicle to let them know, like, hey, bro, I did trust me. You don't want to do that. You do
Yeah.
not want to do that. It's not beneficial. It is not worth it because your freedom, you can't put a price on your freedom.
Yeah.
You cannot. It was nice. I cried in my cell, like just thinking about like every little thing I missed in my kid's life. Even the time I missed my mom, and then I lost my mama. So
Mhm.
now that I lost her in 2020, I think about the 7 years that I did when I couldn't see her every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one thing about prison, I'm gonna let them know, you don't get to go to funerals.
Mhm.
I was praying to God I never lost my mom being locked up with kids or anybody I love. And thank God, I didn't lose my mom, my sisters, or nobody or y'all or anything like that. But I did lose my aunt Fawn, you know what I'm saying, I loved. I lost my auntie. I missed I had a friend that passed away, that got murdered. One of my closest friends who I got, very close to in there, his kid mother was shot up with another guy
Oh my
because
God.
she was out with another guy. Like they weren't together, just she was shot up because another guy was in some other stuff and they shot the car up and shot her up.
Oh my
Now
God.
these three babies don't got a mama.
Oh, and he's locked up, and the
No,
daddy's locked.
well, he was like at the time. He's out now and he has a trucking company now because I helped him get it.
There you go.
Yeah, I showed him what to do as far as,
Yeah.
all the little steps he had to go through, DOTs, MC numbers, all that. But yeah, that's the right now, man. They don't tell you this, but man, they got so many programs you get into to get these trades. That's where you're gonna get that skill. The skill is where it's at, and you're gonna be forever be able to get hired. So yeah, that's what I tell them. Like, man, just realize that, man, hard work is hard work, but it pays off for sure.
Yeah.
The grind. Don't cheat yourself out the grind. Because I cheated myself out the grind. The grind is what you want. The grind helps you grow. You know what I mean? You bump your head along the way, but at least it don't cost your freedom.
Yeah. That's good.
See,
That's
these
really good.
these should be classes in high school from 9th to 12th grade. Take the geography out of school.
Yeah.
Geography out.
and
Take
put-
it. You don't need it.
No, you don't need. Ain't none of us know jack
got
squat
maps
by
on the
geography.
iPhone.
Yeah, we got iPhones and everything.
Yeah, we don't need none of that. Yeah.
Real people come talk to these kids and let them know this is what I did at 18. This is where I'm at now. This is what I went through. This is your story is so wild, man. I ain't spent time with my pop. I had to go to jail to spend time with my dad.
No,
you got your dad right here.
Right here.
Acting crazy. Man, if kids hear this in 9th grade through 12th and they will take that in.
Yeah.
They would it would be that should be a class. So
no, it definitely should be a class, because kids, once they realize that they really have somebody special in their life, it's a challenge they do where a guy is standing next to his son and it says, take a step forward if your dad ever did this for you, or take a step forward if your dad ever did that for you, or been into a game, or gave you a hug, or told you that they love you, or stepped up for you, gave you some money. The father is left way back there while the son is all the way up here.
Yep, I seen those. Yep.
You see that? That would have been me.
Yep.
Back there. My sons, they'd have been way up there.
Yeah.
Like, because you need, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be appreciative of your parents and just life in general. Like, hey, nothing comes overnight, and only thing people ever see is success. Even when you look at somebody that did sell drugs, the thing is, you see he got a lot of money, but he still had to grind and go through some stuff too. People get robbed, they get set up. One of my good friends, they robbed him a long time ago. He lived, they shot him with a 12 gauge to his chest.
Wow.
Yeah. He lived. He's an amazing guy. Like, he's just trying to make some money. He just try to make a couple dollars, man. And that's what he say. Same thing that I'm saying now. So yeah, it's definitely not worth that. You gotta understand that freedom is everything. And just the choices that you get to make with your freedom. It's all about decision making. That's it. Yeah, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie, it's tough. You have your back against the wall, you might think about some stuff, but it's like, but if I get caught,
oh yeah,
they throwing your Buck Rogers numbers. They throwing your Buck Rogers number. Boy, you don't want to do that. You just definitely don't want to do that. So give yourself an opportunity, give yourself a chance to really climb the ladder. And if you do it right the first time, you don't got to go back to do it again.
No, that's good. That's really good. I'm gonna ask my last question, and then people were asking what is Prison Chronicles, and we can tell people where to find you. But before we do that, my last question I talked to you already about. Blaisee recently got caught up because he robbed Gucci. And the internet was saying that Gucci was snitching and all of that. And so we want to hear your take. Snitching, number one. And Blaisee as dumb as we all say he is.
Yeah, I mean, this is because it's crazy because I like Blaisee rap and all that, but yeah, Blaisee was him, the daddy, and the boy, all them fools. They're slow, because it's like, listen, when you come into a corporate world, you cannot bring street stuff all into that. So Gucci, yes, he was a street guy. He was that 20 years ago. But when Gucci was in the streets and he was doing street stuff, he shot at people, robbed people. Look, they shot at him, robbed him. He took it all on the chin. When he had to go do his time, he did his time. But when he came back out, he became Roger Davis. Okay. And for real, that's what he did. He became Roger Davis and what is it, Keisha Kaur? That's his girl. She put up some millions for him, made millions. She said, look, babe, this is what we're going to do. And he became corporate. He has a label. He has investments. He has endorsements, all kind of stuff. This man he's a tax-paying citizen. That man is no longer in the street. So therefore, he's not bound by street codes, where street codes is if we do dirt together, then you get caught and tell on me. That is snitching. That is called being a rat. But you're in the street. I'm not out there. I don't owe you no loyalty, no nothing, man. I'm running a business. So Bruce Shiesty, he's still on street nigga time. Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, hey, I'm gonna go just strong arm Gucci. Well, you walk in there, they got undercover, you got feds and people and cameras and dog. What you thought was gonna happen? So now you mad to say, oh, he's telling. I don't have to put, what am I protecting you for? We didn't go do no dirt together. We ain't got no bodies nowhere. We ain't did no drug deals together. I didn't get caught. You got, what we talking about? How you mad because you put a gun on me and then I'm doing the right thing by, if Gucci did go tell the police, because what you think Keisha gonna say if he go turn into the old Gucci and he's supposed to jeopardize everything he worked for because of your stupidity? Because why? To say that he's a gangster again? Don't none of these people love, people don't love you like they say you do. They say that they do. No. So everybody wants to see you crash out. Real people gonna tell you better not do it. That's what real friends tell you. So no, Pooh Shiesty is foolish, and all he had to do was, hey man, if you're trying to get out this deal, whatever it is, you have your lawyer look over whatever the paperwork is and see what you can do to get out of it. And then you just made like 15 million on some type of distribution or publishing deal that you did. Take the 3 million for whatever you owe, pay Gucci his stuff, and you get your masters. Because he's not gonna get, that man put up a lot of money that you ain't made yet. You ain't made back all that money because you know it's clauses and things like that. And I know that because I'm in a game when it comes to the music. So yeah, it was just you handle that in court. This is not, it's not a crime to go, bro. It's not weak or you a sucker because you go to court when you in the corporate world. This is how you handle it. If Gucci got a problem with anybody with money, he's going to court.
Yeah.
He's not, because if he sends somebody to kill you and they get caught, what you think they gonna do to him? Oh, they really gonna put him up under the jail. Ain't nobody trying to go back to jail and I live in a $2-3 million mansion. I got this bad, beautiful woman. I don't want nobody touching her. No, bruh, you shouldn't have did that, bro. That's on you.
Like Stevie with my iPod.
Yeah, but what you want to go get you a little iPad and a little tablet, huh? Nah, boy, I got a whole 100 screen right there, but nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I had a debate with somebody about this, and I was just telling them, like, bro, you are a fool if you think somebody have to go back to the way they used to live, because basically you saying that I can't grow and become somebody different, somebody better. That is my old life. You know how many pastors used to be drug dealers and gang bangers and probably murk somebody and all that, but they cleaned their life up. I promise you right now, my manager is one of those people, ex-GDs, all that, and guess what? You don't think that he might want to knock somebody's head off every now and then? He can't. He gonna pray for him, because how can he go? He has a family now. How can I go back and do that? I can't. I'm not even in that realm no more. Yeah. So no, Gucci is not snitching. I don't care what they talking about. Like, oh, you tell, no. Guess what? He did what he's supposed to do as a man. He said he didn't even say nothing though. The video spoke for everything.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
I don't want to hang on this, but what's also crazy to me is people in these comments talking about, you see how scared he was when that pistol came out. You see he straightened up, right?
It was
I mean, who ain't gonna straighten up, bro? You got it, bro. Bro, yeah, I'll sign it. Yeah, right there. Hold on, come on. I ain't got time.
Gucci man, John Wick.
Yeah, like what is he supposed to do? Like, that's what I'm saying. Everybody act like they so tough, but bro, it's called they're people don't have decision-making skills, and that shows you that they're not smart. It's like, bro, what are you trying to prove? What that you gonna stand up to a gun? You're about to die. Okay. Bro, you about to die, bro. Like, it's not, because people think, man, they don't understand. It's all that gangster stuff, because you gangster until you ain't gangster. And that's what, like, people learn that. Like, you know what? I don't want to be taking nobody. Like, I don't want to have to, that's why people get out the gang. I don't want to go through that where somebody can tell on me. I don't want to go. So how you gonna come over to my world where I'm doing the right things and then bring the wrong thing and then mad because I did the right thing and you did the wrong your thing. Like, what you talking about? I'm not in this with you, bro. We're not doing that. That is snitching. We're not doing dirt together. We're not. I'm not willingly knowing, getting in the car with you, knowing that you got drugs and a gun, and then we get pulled over, and then you like, oh, I don't know whose it is. So now you telling me if I tell these people that's your stuff that I'm snitching, but yet you about to let me go to jail for something that ain't mine?
Right.
What like, bro? Like, so you don't care about me, bro? What you talking about?
I am
Why would I
telling
protect that? That is stupid. And you telling our kids, we telling our kids it's a street code to that, because I live by those street codes. Like when I was in the game, I live by that. Like keep your mouth closed, because that comes with that. But I'm corporate now, baby. Don't come over here messing with me, man. Leave me alone, bro. I ain't did nothing to y'all people, man. Like, you know, we trying to run a legit business. You
but
can't just, hey, y'all remember that movie? I don't know if y'all seen that one movie where they hung the dude over the it was a singing movie. What was that? The Five Heartbeats?
Oh,
Remember the Five Heartbeats when they hung old boy up over the yeah, he hung him up over that balcony? You can't do that, bro. That is
but
attempted murder. You going to jail, bro.
but
I'm just saying.
but even in this street game though, man, they always say there's some type of code you live by, but nobody lives by the code, because that's why your partner became an informant. Nobody lives by this code. It's just a fairy tale world to keep people in it for some reason.
or the people who do live by it get the worst time because
Yes.
everybody else is telling.
To know
Everybody else telling.
given times, anybody can tell on me.
At any given time. Yeah, and that's why you don't want to be in the game. And see, for me, and this is why all my guys respect and love me. For real. Like everybody that was and I dealt with. When I went down, it was just me. Just like I told, hey, everything mine. Because I knew what came with it. And I'm not about to take you from your family, your kids, and your life because I got caught up. Yeah, like what? Like that's crazy. That's foolish. Like I know what I was doing. I'm the one that got caught. This has nothing to do with you. So no, I live by those codes. That's why in my music, when I was rapping about my life, because I rap about my life and I tell them the codes I stuck to and what I did. But that wasn't to glorify. I would just let you know that, like, bro, I was solid. Like if you're gonna be in something, then you got to stand on business. Period. That's all. You got to stand on business. So yeah, it is people that live by them code, but nowadays they tell you, oh no, snitch, because everybody else gonna tell it because they think snitching is cool. Like, all right, well, hey, let's go make this play. But if we get caught, I'm telling on you. Just say that. So then I know, like, we're not doing this.
Exactly. Speak your
with
truth,
somebody else.
goddamn.
Just speak the truth.
This was so much fun. I think
Yeah.
everyone's going to love it. I think you were as funny and fun and likable as you are. So thank you for sharing your story. I hope a lot of people learn from it and just enjoy it. But like I said, learn from it as well.
Yes.
Tell the people where they can follow you, find you, anything you want to tell people you got going on. How can people support you should they want to?
Oh, you definitely want to support me, man. But one, because yes, I do music, but my music is really about redemption. That's what my story is about. It's all about redemption, because I want people to know, like, yeah, you may fall, but you can get back up no matter what your story is, because we all got one, you know. And no matter how bad it looked, put God first. Trust me, redemption is real. But as far as my prison chronicles, all that, I'm on TikTok as Tokafly, Toka Fly. And then on Instagram, I am Mud City Toka at I am Mud MUDCITY Toka TOKA. And I got a lot of great things coming up. I'm shooting a 51 episode vertical right now. We start shooting today, actually. You know, said at 9:30. It's about to be so dope. It's called Hats. Wrote it with my guy Dre P. You know, I gotta say his name because I gotta give him credit. It's my brother, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, and we already almost done with season 2 as far as writing, but yes, this about to be so dope. We shoot for the next 8 days, and my music, I'm getting ready to drop back to back to back. If you on YouTube, Tokafly. If you on what else? Apple Music, Spotify, Tokafly, Tokay Fly. Tokafly, not Tuka. Everybody be like, Tuka. I'm like, man, my name is not Tuka. He died. Listen, my name is Toka. Yeah. I want to shout my wife out for supporting me and everything like that. Because, boy, let me tell you, her birthday coming up, y'all.
And we love her. Let me just say, people.
I know y'all love her. She love y'all too.
She was also like, what is wrong with him? So okay, so thank you for doing this. I'm so grateful, so happy you did. We'll tag your stuff in the description so people can find it.
All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate y'all.
holding back.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sharing the raw stuff, man. 'cause
Got to, man. Yeah. We can't hold it back. It's done now.
All right. Love you.
Man, I love y'all, man. All right. See y'all later.
bro.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Okay, so that was our episode. I know this was a very long episode, but I hope I look shiny now. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will follow him and support if that's what you would like to do. But I hope that it was educational, informative. He's funny, so I hope it was a good time. But I hope you got the sorrow, but also the like joy. I don't know if joy is the proper word, but I recognize that there's a mix of emotions in the story. Obviously he does as well. I hope that came across. Just like he was saying, we aren't obviously glorifying his going to prison. That is not what we are trying to do. But just wanted to share a real story. And I'm sure many of you have people in your family who have experienced similar things, who've been to prison, who have done time. That's just one of the stories from my family. So again, I hope you've enjoyed it. That said, you can make sure you buy tickets.
I got something to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go
But
ahead.
also for him to show you that it ain't over until it's over.
That's good.
Because for this man to live the life he's lived
Mhm.
and still be able to live right now.
Mhm.
Because I'm 40, so you what, 41, 42?
How old am I?
Still got a life to live. You know what I'm saying? And still motivated to be productive. So when you think you got it hard, there's somebody out there, man, living life from the dirt. I mean, his life story is motivating.
Yeah. Good. I'm
Yeah.
happy you shared that.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy tickets to the show. That'll be in the description as well. August 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure you follow me. I'm not a lawyer, but on all platforms.
Goolsby at GOOLZBY.
Until next time.
Mm-hmm. Watch your environment.
So many quotables.
Be in a good environment, because that could change the trajectory of your life. All right. Building with Goose. I said building with Goose. Court is adjourned.